Yo, what's good, YouTube? Zamcrow here, aka Scoot. Finally back. Okay, so we uploaded our Ultimate Pokemon Conference Season 6 draft analysis roughly 2 months ago, and we have not uploaded any of our battles. Um, Mostly because the league fell apart into a deep, deep abyss. There are some active coaches there are some active coaches who are continuously playing games, like myself and a few other guys, and our season has been cut short to 8 weeks instead of 10 weeks, and we're going to go ahead and start our playoffs. And I figured since we are going to be finishing out the season, whether or not it was a full season or not, I would upload my videos, and I put out a poll on Twitter on how I should upload them, like a three-part movie style with like my first four battles, my second four battles, then playoffs, or upload them one by one like I normally would weekly. But I guess I could pump them out probably twice a week. Would be a bit to kind of catch up and put us back on track, and then yeah, we'll be good. So I figured I could pump out, one UPC battle a week, maybe two per week, probably two per week. Um, and yeah, so our first team here is actually a team we never saved. We actually built it on the spot and then played on the spot. So I didn't actually ever get to save the battle. I mean the team. I didn't get to save the squad. I do remember what 6 mon I brought, and I got the replay obviously, so I was able to get some of my moves and whatnot, and I can understand a little bit of my thought process still. That being said, um, we opened the season off against the Pittsburgh Celesteelers, which we did play in the minor season in our previous UBC or UPC run. And he had a pretty tough squad then, and he has another tough squad this season, being what uh, what happens to be like I ain't gonna say it's a good matchup on either side. I won't say that, but I'll say that it is a fair matchup in my opinion. That that we have this we have a I think it's a pretty fair matchup on both sides. He has Mega Charizard X, Tapu Bulu, Crobat, which is a Z move user, Reuniclus, Z Komo-O, Empoleon, Halucha, Raikou, Seismitoad, Alolan, Persian, and Zangoose. Where, like I said, Crobat and Komo-O are his Z move users. And we have Infernape, Hydreigon, Clefable, Bronzong, Superior, Zapdos, Donphan, Snorlax, Pukamaku, Mega Banette, and Vivillon. Um, yeah, it has been 2 week or 2 months, so you guys probably forgot my roster. My Z move users being Infernape and Hydreigon, so pretty solid. I'll try to not spoil anything, as I do have 8 battles down already, and I'm just now starting to upload. So I'll try not to spoil anything for future comes. So our first matchup, like I said, he's got a lot of potent threats: Megazord X, Bulu, Reuniclus, Como-O. He's got Hawlucha with grassy terrain, and that's pretty much all the offensive pressure that I really fear. Defensively, he doesn't look too hard to break, as I have a pretty good offensive matchup. But it's just his offense has a pretty good matchup as well. But both of our teams are um, supported properly. Well, no, I won't say properly. I'll say supported so well that we can actually check each other's offense. Um, Although on paper it looks like maybe we can't. But yeah, so we got a Infernape, as you can see on screen. I don't remember everything about Infernape. I do have I do remember it being a Life Orb variant, most likely Iron Fist, because I do 100% remember packing the Mach Punch on it. Um, Given the matchup he actually had, it's likely that I had Flare Blitz, Close Combat, Mach Punch, and potentially a filler move, or potentially Swords Dance. So lots of different things that could have happened there. Next up, we got Hydreigon, which was a I have some notes here from the battle, from like a recent these are old notes, like as old as the battle, but I don't see anything about my Hydreigon on here. So I'm not exactly sure what kind of set I would bring. I'm pretty sure it'd be like a 3 attacks Roost or 2 attacks Taunt Roost, because I don't really need any coverage other than like Dragon and Dark, because Tapu Bulu is like his only answer outside of like Empoleon. But I have coverage for Empoleon. There's coverage for Bulu. I'm just not sure if I brought it. And I am pretty sure that I'd bring Taunt and Roost because of Seismitoad and taking Thunderbolts and Scalds from Empoleon and Raikou and whatnot. But yeah, I'm not sure what my Hydreigon set was. Next up, we got Clefable, and I'm almost certain that this thing is just a Thunderwave, Wish Protect, Moonblast set. And I'm pretty sure that it was designed to check Reuniclus. So that's just about all I know on it. Obviously, if it's an unaware set, it pretty much checks Como-O, checks Hawlucha, and Zangoose, and I'm not going to say it checks Zardex, because Flare Blitz is, it's doing over half. It's a 2-hit KO regardless. But yeah, it prevents, it don't prevent it, but yeah, it's nothing to Zard. Zard blows through Clef. If you're like a Flare Blitz variant. Yeah, but outside of that, it also takes hits from Alolan and Persian all day, and can bop it with Moonblast. It bops a lot of things with Moonblast, outside of Crobat and Empoleon, and that's it actually. So yeah, that's pretty hype. Next up, we got Bronzong, which is a Levitate variant. It actually may be a Heatproof variant, because it kind of actually makes more sense in a way. But this is my Stealth Rocker, I'm pretty sure. Stealth Rocker more than likely has Gyro Ball, potentially Zen Headbutt and Toxic. I'm not real sure what my set was though, but we'll figure it out during the battle. It'll be like watching a movie together. Just pretend this is a date and we're watching a movie together. Unless you're a guy, then just pretend we're playing Pokemon together. That's a joke, obviously. Okay, so next up we got Zapdos, and I got a sub Roost set here with Discharge and Toxic, I think. I don't remember my AVs much, but this thing was basically a check to, what was this a check to? This was a check to, I'm losing my, Hawlucha. I checked the Hawlucha, and I feel like my opponent had Mamoswine, and that was the reason I ran Toxic. But yeah, I 100% get walled by Raikou, unless he's like really slow and I get my Toxic off first, or he's not a sub variant and I get my Toxic off. Then I can stall it out and eventually win. Yeah, but yeah, I need to keep this thing safe for Hawlucha if he brings it, because Hawlucha's spooky. Clefable and Zapdos. It might take both to beat Hawlucha, with one of those terrains up. Next up, we got Donphan, which is another victim to the terrain. Earthquake does jack to basically everything. He has a Tapu Bulu, which switches in on Donphan infinitely, unless you run Gunk Shot. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, I'm running Gunk Shot, Earthquake, Rapid Spin, Gunk Shot, Earthquake, Rapid Spin, Earthquake, Gunk Shot, Rapid Spin, and perhaps Stone Edge. I don't actually remember my last move, but Stone Edge makes sense since he has a Crobat, which is immune to Earthquake and resist Gunk Shot. So Rock Slide, Stone Edge, or so I was gonna think of some heat sets like HP Psychic or Natural Gift Fire or something, but we'll leave that for another day. This thing was basically my Charizard check. I had to run, and okay, I can't avoid max defense, max HP. Donphan is 3-hit KO'd by Charizard, potentially burned by Flare Blitz or a potential Will-O-Wisp set predicting the Donphan. And then like a Donphan that's burnt with Grassy Terrain up is basically a Donphan that can't check Charizard. But I've got enough attack investment to I'm like adamant max attack, max HP, where I can take hits from Zard and also damage it with or without Grassy Terrain being up. Without Grassy Terrain, it's it's basically an Oko after Stealth Rocks, and almost an Oko with or without Stealth Rocks. With the Grassy Terrain up though, it's doing significantly less, but it's doing enough to where I'm not set up fodder ever. So that's pretty hype. And I can always keep it into a range to where like Clefable can come in the following turn and do enough with Moonblast to where Flare Blitz, Recoil, and Moonblast together would knock out the Charizard. So that's important. But yeah, that's just about it. I don't really remember much about my prep, so we'll get into the battle, which I have notes written down more so about the battle than the prep. So I'll be more on point for my commentary there than I was here. Let's hop into it. Alright, so here we are in the replay, and my opponent chooses to bring. First of all, I read the doc off as it currently is, so Mamoswine isn't any longer part of this team, so I forgot to name it as one of the threats that I was prepping for. Hence, some more of Bronzong's Spadef. Defense. I remember bringing a more defensive Bronzong and thinking that it'd be a pretty solid check to Mamoswine. And then once I got in the match, I completely blanked on something like Life Orb Mamo or something like that with Knock. And I was like, uh-oh. So then Clefable became my primary check. And speaking of Mamoswine, it's his only rocker. And his only way of well, I guess Hawlucha actually does get U-turned. But I was going to say momentum shift, or shift, like, switch, what's the initiative move, I guess? I don't know. Parting shot with Alolan Persian, and U-turn with Hawlucha, and I think Alolan Persian as well. Otherwise, he has to hard switch, whereas I have 3 Mons that can potentially U-turn or Volt turn around. So that's pretty hype. I am just going to lead off with Clefable. It leads well with or without rocks, and it's the best matchup versus Mamoswine because I'm a more defensive Clefable. With or without a solid team prep, once you get back into commentating the battle, you can more or less see what your builds are about. And I can see that he's got like a Alolan Persian, Mega Charizard X, Mamoswine, so Clefable, and Hawlucha. So Clefable's naturally going to be more physically defensive, especially with things like Bulu and being a Calm Mind Psyshock variant to try to beat a Calm Mind Clefable makes a lot of sense on Reuniclus as well. So Mamo being his only rocker and Clef being a potential rocker for me, as well as matching up against Mamoswine, is a pretty solid lead for me. But he actually leads with his Alolan Persian, and I'm just going to click. I actually don't know if this is my Stealth Rocker. I think I just clicked Moonblast here. I may click Stealth Rock if I'm a Stealth Rocker, but I think it was just Moonblast. I don't think I was actually a Stealth Rock variant. And here, I didn't get to stop it. But my Clefable was actually designed to, be able to be a solid defensive answer to most of his threats and a Calm Mind Reuniclus as well, because I'm the unaware ability and whatnot. So it looks like he doubles to Charizard, expecting my Bronzong to come out, which makes sense. Also, doubling out to catch a potential Hydreigon switch makes sense too, but it kind of makes less sense because Hydreigon could potentially be Choice Scarfed, drop a Draco, hurts a Zard X really bad. So, more than likely predicting a Bronzong switch in. Doubles out to his Mega Charizard X as I actually, I'm gonna I'll pull the trigger on a no drawback play, and I'm gonna click the Thunder Wave, and I'm gonna actually land it, and the Charizard is gonna be paralyzed. So now I can hard switch into Donphan, which is 2-hit KO'd by offensively invested Flare Blitz, and I'm able to throw off a free Earthquake, but he's got a Tapu Bulu, which can set up the grassy terrain, so I'm actually going to opt to throw off a Gunk Shot as he switches into this Fur Coat Alolan Persian. So here I'm going to hard switch out. He can go for the Parting Shot and regain momentum, so I'm going to go into Clefable. It best checks, the entirety of Pokemon. And I throw off a Moonblast there, and here I actually need to like Roost up, Wish up, throw a Protect off, gain my HP back. What I should have did there was gain my Wish back first, but in case he was a setup variant of Bulu with like Life Orb or something, I needed to go like immediately into Bronzong and catch the Wish, and and if he attacked, I catch the Wish anyway. So I think Bronzong was my best play, but I would have really liked to have kept Clefable healthy. And I am able to Toxic the Bulu, and I'm going to actually be able to, he switches out as I switch out as well. So he actually catches my switch, and here I'm able to just throw off a Substitute and see what he wants to do. He goes for the Side Shock, so he breaks my sub. I contemplated going for a Side Shock again. Sub again to see if it was a roll, but I felt like throwing off a Toxic was just my better overall play, and I can Roost up and potentially just whittle this thing down slowly but surely. I'm going to hard switch out into my Clefable as he actually hard switches into his Mamoswine. But being so defensive, I can 100% live an Earthquake and an Icicle Crash. But my opponent misses, so he misses a chance to get a nice flinch there, and I get some Moonblast damage on him. Switch out to my Bronzong as he reveals Life Orb damage, and I don't want to take a Life Orb, Ice Shard, and Life Orb, my own Life Orb recoil. So I'll go straight for the Mach Punch since it would 100% knock out the Memo. He sacks off his Alolan Persian and then brings in his Reuniclus and go straight for the Side Shock as I bring in my Zapdos, forcing him right back out into his Mega Charizard X as I actually set up a Substitute. And here, this is actually going to cost me a little bit of health. I needed to Roost up, but I didn't want this Charizard to be an offensive setup variant and get out of hand here. So I go hard into my Donphan and take it out before it becomes a problem. He does get paralyzed, but I could have went into Clefable, Infernape, Hydreigon after this anyway, since he was paralyzed. But yeah, he sacrifices his Mamoswine to get rocks up as Donphan knocks him out, and now he brings in the Bulu to revenge kill me. I bring in Life Orb, Infernape, and I am, I think, Iron Fist, so I do get the boost on Fire Punch there. Knocks out the Bulu, but now he brings in the Hawlucha, and I got to stay in and attack because he got the defense boost, and I can't allow him to set up a Swords Dance. Although I guess it really didn't matter, but in case he went straight for the attack like he does, I needed Clefable to be healthy enough to take the hit and Wish up, and I'm unaware of any attack boosts and stuff like that, so I can freely just continuously Wish up and eventually throw off a Moonblast. And once that happens, I can eventually, since the Reuniclus is poisoned, I can just let this, poison damage whittle it down. I'm actually going to get a crit here, which is going to end up mattering. He gets a special attack drop, which could potentially end up mattering. But I just go into my Hydreigon here, and I can just click Dark Pulse. And it's going to knock him out through his Cobra Berry. And potentially without the crit with Clefable, maybe he would have survived the Dark Pulse. But I was very offensive Hydreigon. And even if I couldn't knock him out, I would put him in range to die to Zapdos's attack. And he would be very whittled for Zapdos to just roost substall and whatnot. So maybe at the most cost and differential. Other than that, I don't think the hacks influenced much of anything this match. But yeah, it was a good game. Let me know what you thought about the prep on both sides in the battle. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.